As me I tell you, say people, I couldn't stop pee the bed. I remember I used to, cause all them people that stay back in the days, them not them would talk things they would hear, but them not inviting in them conversation. So upon top of me, I get the whooping, the cussing. My grandfather run me down nearly a mile for beat me. When he catch me after I run me down the mile and catch me, I tell him say, I couldn't run no more. Then I want shop, run I want shop, and I beg the woman name Miss Scan. I can't forget, say Miss Scan. Do save me, Miss Scan. Save me from the beat me. Miss Scan never save me. Grandfather come take me out of the shop, carry me up. When he carry me up, I run under the bed. He let me go back into the house. I run under the bed. He lift up the bed, take me out, give me a nice whooping. The whole avenue could have hear say me I get beaten because I peep at the bed. Now the guilt and the shame and just everything, just everything. Up on top of that, I was listening to their conversation, talking about one of their neighbors who, she was an adult, she had 3 kids, and she was still wet in bed. Now, with all of the guilt and the shame and everything that I was going through with bedwetting, I decided to start praying. Taking my tiny little knees and praying, say, I can't help myself. This is beyond my control. And now I need to seek God to help me. At this young age, I was about 7. I said, Lord, I started to pray. I remember praying, kneeling down, praying to God and asking Him to help me with this bedwetting. Because I couldn't take the lick. And not only the lick, the embarrassment, the shame, and the guilt from peeing the bed. The guilt of messing up these people's bed. After them take me in and help me out. Me I wet up them bed and I can't stop and I want to stop and I can't stop. The shame of just knowing that me is a bedwetter. And my friend them hearing about it and I'm feeling ashamed. So my guilt, I'm a sorrow because me I think say just like how that woman there up in her 30s and a pee bed and them I say she live with her man because they were talking, that's the family. The others were talking that the neighbor was peeing her bed and she have 3 kids. I know she had 3 kids. And she live with her man and she had piss bed. You know how Jamaicans stay. We don't hold on nothing. I was listening to their conversation and so because of what I was going through, I began to pray. I began to seek God. At that 7, 8, 9 years praying and asking God to help me. I'm not going to tell you that after I prayed the first prayer that I got help, I did not get help at the first time. Because let me tell you something, I did a video on this saying, prayer is like waiting in the line in the bank and setting up your request. It's not that your request haven't gone up, but God has to shift up some things in order for you to get that prayer answered the way it's supposed to answer. So I was praying and I was crying on my tiny little knees, saying to God, help me to stop wetting them people in bed. I can't take the shame. I can't take the embarrassment. I can't take the beating. And I prayed. I said, Lord, I believe I put a time limit on it. That I said I did not want to go in my teenage years pee in bed because it was just so shameful. Guys, I can't tell you the age, but I know say before me at 12, I stopped peeing the bed. I stopped peeing the bed before I was 12 and I was so overjoyed because, the guilt and the shame has been removed, and not only that, God has answered my prayers of me not wetting the bed up until I reach teenage. Imagine you go to high school on a people bed. That wouldn't look good. And I'm telling you, right before I turned 12, I stopped wetting the bed. So this morning I got up and I remember about the dream, but sorry, not about the dream, about what had happened. And I started to tell my son. And out of all of this, what my son told me was, he think my parents was unfair because I was a kid and I had absolutely no control over it. And I said to him, what I really wanted him to learn was the fact that God answered my prayers. But what he was actually taking away from it was the fact that he think they were unfair. But I said they weren't unfair. They're human too. But that for me was my first answered prayer. I could feel sad about them slapping me and whooping me for what had happened. But the Lord said to me, that's the power of forgiveness. You know, understand that they are human, and even though they're adults and their parents, they don't have all the answers and they don't get it right all the time. You understand? So that's what I wanted him to take, the fact that God answered my prayer, but he took away what they had done. But I corrected right away and said to him, they are human. They are human. So I'm not going to blame them for anything they've done or however they had handled that situation. But to remember in it that God answered my prayer and they were human. The power of forgiveness and realizing God in that moment. So guys, as I tell you guys, I have a lot of testimony coming out about my life, my journey. The big epic one not come out yet, but guys, I just want you to understand this. I get to find out now that bedwetting is a sign of feeling neglect as a child, you know, and I was dealing with neglect because I was left by both of my parents with these people who weren't my family, but God was in it all and he was carrying me through it all. And today I have no regret about what my life has been, because through living with those people I met God. I knew God because she took me to church. She was telling me about God, so I had to use God to come out of that situation. And it did not happen overnight, but through it all I've seen the answer of God. That was my first answered prayer, and that was the first time that I knew that I must pray about everything, and that God really answered prayer, because I really saw him in that moment. It didn't answer same time, but over time it did, and I just want to give him all the glory and the praise for that. Have yourself a blessed day, guys.